I remember my dad in his dying days. He said, Angela, there's something I need to say to you. I did the best I could at the time, but I wish I'd known better. And he said, I know better now. And he said, I want you to remember that for the rest of your life. I wish I would have taught you forgiveness more. I raised you so tough so you could survive, but I have regret and I can do better right now is that I want to teach you to open your heart and live from a place of forgiveness. And those are, any childhood trauma that I had, I was able to grieve and let go. And because I don't hold it to him, he was just human. He was just human. I just feel like let it go was and that's what so many books right now and so many things are talking about is letting that go. So when you let it go and you don't bring it in and you release it with love. And now let's go back to business. Hello and welcome to the Angela Groeneveld Podcast Show. I'm Angela, a woman of many hats, and today I'm very excited to introduce today's guest. This will be the next hour, we're going to talk about listening to yourself. I personally believe my mantra that I live by in life is fear to faith on to fly. My faith is not based off of a religion. My faith is based off of love and hope. Velva is somebody that has inspired me from the day that I met her about believing in yourself and in hope. She is the epitome of never giving up. I've personally judged her myself. I've personally seen people judge her. I've pivoted and watched her go, I don't know if I like her business model. I don't like what she does. But guess what? She doesn't care. You know why? It's because she listens to herself. And what I'm excited about and why I'm the woman of many hats is because I believe in empowering the person behind the business, and I believe in empowering the people behind a community. I love rural communities. I'm the Canadian cowgirl. I believe that we are about to be manipulated like you have never seen before. The internet came out years and years ago. Yes, I'm old, but now we're about to face AI. There is no better time right now than to learn how to intuitively listen to yourself in your personal life, in your relationship, and in your business, because manipulation is on a massive, evolving scale coming to us real soon. So my gift to you today is to listen to Velva, listen to her story, listen to her tools. And of course, in the end, if you like and inspired by her, I hope you reach out to her, invite you into your life. So thank you. Velva, thank you for joining. I am so excited. I like to refer to myself as the Canadian cowgirl. And what's really fun about my relationship since I've met you is I'm the cowgirl from the East and you're the cowgirl from the West. It is really cool. We, a little bit of background, Velva and I were told by many people to meet. You need to meet Angela. You need to meet Velva. She's kind of going through what you're going through. And I would hear the same. And we never did. We never crossed paths. We were both come from large cattle ranching, farming families, East and the West, literally. And so the cattle and farming industry is quite small, very close in Alberta. And it was until she wrote her book. And when she wrote her book, I thought, holy moly, does that girl got balls to write that book? And she does. She does in a very classy way. She does in a very integrately way. She'll speak, but she does it because she believes in paying forward her messages. So Velva, thank you and welcome to the show. Could you just do a little introduction of yourself, of your business, just so the audience knows who they're talking to today?
Thank you for having me, Angela. I have so much here. A little bit about me. So accurately, I lived on a cattle ranch for 21 years, raised 3 girls. And then I had a huge wake-up call. I had a heart attack in 2016. And what I realized is that my body was telling me it was time to move on. And I began really connecting to the spiritual part of myself. I began with the certification program to empower women all around the world. And I did sacred site traveling. I created my own oracle deck. And I really started to see that when you follow your heart and you move through the fear, you shift into a greater expansion, into something that you can't even imagine when you walk through the doors of fear. And my motto is come and deep dive with me. I really believe in deep diving, getting to the bottom of what the issue really is and being fully transparent with whatever is going on with you, because your transparency and your authenticity is a key that allows other people to open that up inside of them. So I'm the Catalystic coach. I am an author. I love writing for magazines. I love blogging. I love podcasts. So thank you for having me. And I really love connecting with people who are ready for change. I'm going to continually keep moving through all my fears and diving into where my soul calls me.
Beautiful. Walking through fear. That's the highest regard and respect I hold for you. Just know that. I've watched you walk through fear so many times, and at my lowest times, and when I've been really scared to make a business decision, and it's always been in the business decisions, because I'm never afraid to make a decision in my personal life because I just listen to my heart. And this is key. This is why I think every business owner out there needs to really listen to this today. If you're thinking about starting a business, or if you are at a crossroad, or if you're thinking about taking your side hustle to the next level, you need to listen to yourself. All the answers are in there. So when you say walk through fears, your mantra, and my mantra is from fear to faith on the fly. My faith was listening to myself. So I have no problem in my business, in my personal life, but in my business life, everything's about money. Everything's about the bottom line. Everything's about the business operations. And I get lost there. And that's when I have to walk through that fear with the faith. So I didn't understand when you first got into this Catalyst coach, and I looked at, I've known of you for a lot of years, and how does she claim herself to be a business coach? And then I realized when I reach out to you, and I realized how important it is for me to be completely balanced to be able to run a successful business. So can you touch a little bit about that, about how, what a catalyst coach is and why an entrepreneur would benefit right now from learning those intuitive skills inside of themselves?
Absolutely. My motto is always life is an inside job. And a lot of people don't even understand what it means to go inside of yourself. And to go inside of yourself means moving from your head to your heart. It means following what feels right to you, allowing your heart to guide you, things that bring you joy, creativity, passion, that light you up. Sometimes we get stuck in this old model, which is falling apart right now around us. And what's happening is it's old systems that we follow because we're afraid to break the norm. We're afraid to emerge with what we truly know and how we feel. So we follow these old paradigms and they're falling apart. So being the Catalystic coach, I really understood in the work that I've done. Like, I worked in the hospital for 15 years and it wasn't lighting me up. I didn't want to go to work every day, even though they wanted to promote me to be manager of the rural South area. I just knew I couldn't do it because I would be doing it for the money, but not from my passion. So I quit my job and I went back to school to become a natural health practitioner, and I wrote my own books. And now I drive myself from the inside out versus the outside in.
Beautiful. This is key, everybody. Velva and I have some acquaintances that we both know that are very wealthy business people. They're kind of mentors to us. We go to their events and we see things from them. And the common denominator between them all is they wish they worked less and lived more. And they're paying forward now. And every single one of them has health issues. Also did the same thing. I've had 2 panic attacks. I tried to commit suicide when I was 19. I battle mental health every single day. But I call it mental wellness because I have a toolkit and I don't let it label me and I don't let it get to me. But for business owners, or if you're thinking of becoming a business owner, you really need to listen to what she says about listening to yourself. Because what I'm afraid of right now, and I'm going to pick on the new generation a little bit because I've got a couple of them in my house. And they quit. They quit real fast and they go, I'm not happy right now. Now I love this new generation because they don't tolerate not being happy. To get back to I call what you're saying in business a business pulse check. I created this from serving on natural disasters. Velva and I are both from High River, Alberta. It was the hardest hit in the 2013 southern floods, Canada's largest natural disaster at the time. So I served on it. She had many family. And then where she worked, of course, at the hospital, lots of involved with it, family and friends. Went on to move serving in disaster recovery for all of, after that, Canada's natural disasters. And I learned that we had a mental check. The doctor would give you a stress leave if you were stressed out. And if you're an employee, you got to go on stress leave. Entrepreneurs didn't get that. So when I was literally, I'm going to be really raw here, I had entrepreneurs dropping. And yes, some to suicide. Yes, some to heart attacks. Yes, some to domestic violence. Yes, some to marriages breaking. And yes, some to foreclosures. I saw it. They lost their home and they lost their business. And so I realized you need a business pulse check. Velva taught me it's not just about the money. It's not just about doing the business. What does the cash flow sheet say? She talks about working from the inside, listening to the inside. And I'm become a better coach, business coach, because of that. And that's why I don't believe in competition. That's why you see two business coaches here right now, because we help each other, we grow each other. She has taught me to be a better coach because she has helped me learn to get to the person behind the business and listen to them. So what tools could we share right now? So if you were going to hire Velva and I to come in to help you to decide if you wanted to leave your business or leave your job or leave your business and go into another business or start a business, what are some tools, Velva, that you would say to them first?
I would ask them what lights them up. What is something that lights you up every single day? Is it connection with people? Is it creating something that's a pillar for someone to use in their life? I would ask them, is balance important to you, right? Do you have balance in your personal life and your business life? Do you understand? And I would ask them, what do you do? What are hobbies that you do in your spare time? Because many times those hobbies are a link to what your passion is. It links you back to the joy, to the creativity. And I would feel inside them because I'm intuitive. So I'd feel inside their chakras and I would feel into where those blocks are that maybe they're afraid. I would also ask them, what is your biggest fear? Are you afraid to be seen? Are you afraid to use your voice? Are you afraid to be judged? I would ask them all kinds of questions, which would show me intuitively inside their body if they're aligned to their fullest, greatest life that they're here to be, or if they are just, fragmenting themselves, shrinking themselves down because they're truly afraid to be seen or to be heard. And I would deal with even that childhood issue so they could resolve that to be the fullest expression of the love and the wisdom that they are here on the planet. I would go deep.
Go deep. Thank you for that. We're going to go back on something, but I'm going to have a little bit of fun right now. So there's a difference between be selective on your services and products you buy. So do you see why as a business coach, I would never say what she's saying? And it's absolutely needed. I would say, that's all great. Now that we got all the fuzzy, nice feeling out of the way, where's the gap in the industry? What's needed? What problem are we solving? And then I would create that and go sell it. But do you see how this marries together really nice? This is right here how innovation happens. Because some people, when I listen to big innovators that have become billionaires, they see the world a little differently. They don't just see their town, their province, their country. They see the world. Their sales funnel is so big. And I was just doing a coaching on this of, that's the gift that COVID's brought us. And is that we have access to the world very quickly now. So what is the problem? What is the service out there that the world needs? And then what's your passion? Velva will say to you, what is your passion first? And that's why find what fits. And when you find your passion, are you ready? Are you ready to leap? Are you ready to go in there? Because if you don't do the work that she's talking about, when I come in as a business coach to you, and I like to work with people for 4 times and work myself out of a job. I like to set the foundation with them. I usually will talk to the foundation of the business, which is the person, and I see them stuck because it's really simple to run business for me. It's really simple how you move through the cash flows, how you move through the sheets, the sales targets, the business plans, the marketing plans, everything. There's no reason for failure unless the entrepreneur is stuck. So if they're stuck, there's something saying to them that there's fear somewhere. They're afraid to move forward with. I can't help you with that. I can ask some hard questions with you. But that's when I pause with you and I say, you need to go figure this out. And that's when I'll say, you need to go see Velva if you'd like. She might work you through that stuck. So I just want to touch base a little bit on the personal side of life, Velva. You've done a lot of changes in your life, on the personal side of your life, that who knew it was going to guide you to being an entrepreneur? And is there, for the audience that's listening right now, that's feeling a bit stuck in their personal life, and they're maybe an entrepreneur, maybe they're following, maybe they're just following because they just enjoy the conversation of emerging and growing themselves. How could you talk to someone that's feeling stuck in their life right now of things that they could do if they want to level up their life?
That's such a loaded question. What I would say to them is, what was happening when you felt stuck? I would take them back to, when was the last time you felt joy? What were you doing? And then what happened to shift you out of joy into feeling stuck? Because what I see happening is when people feel stuck, it's usually they're in a system that has become unconscious.
Robot.
Yeah, actually conscious, sorry, where they're just moving through life day to day and they have forgot who they are. They have taken their own joy out of the equation, and usually they're giving to everyone else, not to themselves. So I would ask them to go back and look, when's the last time that you loved yourself? When is the last time that you took yourself out for a self-love date? I would go back to, so they could feel that frequency within them. And then we can see how we can expand upon that to move through feeling stuck.
Velva, what about, what just came to my mind was when you evolve. So when I go back to the things, I guess you could call this a midlife crisis. I'm 52 and a half years old right now. And because I've hired you, I've done the work, and I've gone back to the places that bring me joy. And I've done the grounding work of literally taking my shoes off, standing by water and feeling the earth. And the things that used to bring me joy is what I'm sad that I've lost. And so it's like in your midlife crisis and you got less time on earth, I realize I don't know if that's my joy anymore. For me, I'm looking to go back and I never wanted to travel, never had a desire to travel. And all I wanted to do was to make sure I had a horse in the backyard. And I never wanted my dog. My dog's never been on leashes. I don't have a horse in the backyard and my dog's tied up now, or my dog's not able to run freely. So I'm asking myself, do I want to go back into the country? Is that where my joy is? But I think I'm changing. So how is there a process of when we go back to our place to be happy that used to bring us joy? Is there something that we should be watching in our body or going, I don't think I get joy from this anymore. And please don't go leave your husbands because it's about you, because I know how many times I've ditched friends and been in, and even with my new partner now, I'm like, I don't like you today. You don't bring me any joy, or my family, or my dog, so I don't mean to react in that space, like to do a reaction to it, but how do you feel? What do you do to feel that, to move forward and recognize your new self?
So, evolvement is a process of grieving. And I see it in my clientele all around me. And if you look at the grief cycle,
Let
it's
it go.
either it's a you, right? So you start here with the shock, with the anger, all the way to acceptance. And that's what evolvement is. And, this year is the year of the dragon. It's all about the karmic cycle. It's all about that loop. It's the infinity symbol. And it's really allowing you to, a lot of us are reviewing our memories. We're reviewing the things that made us happy, because what you want to do is you want to take the feeling of what brought you the joy, and then you're going to grow. It's like, okay, now can I remember that feeling in a new experience because I'm evolving. So repetition is like a broken record, right? Where you're just going around and around. And evolving is looping up. It's taking that frequency of joy and leveling it up to a new experience. So like you said, it's like now you're looking at travel, right? Travel is something that, can bring you joy, you know, and that's what's important, is recognizing the fact is as we evolve, we're going to spiral up, not spiral around and repeat the same experience.
You just helped me because in that midlife crisis time, I think, like anybody that's afraid to age, get over it. Change your mindset right now. It is beautiful. It is so fun. The wisdom that I have right now and the give a shit meter being almost zero. Imagine having that at 20. Oh gosh, the changes I would have made. But I don't regret any of the experiences I've gone through. And I was hanging on to regret, and I was dying inside, dying. And I felt so much pain. And I wanted to write 5,200 sorry letters because I was so sorry to so many people. But I can't. I'm going to have to get a really good pair of runners if I'm going to go chase the about people, what they're going to say and do about me, and chase them down, because there's a lot. Or I can just be at peace with it in myself. And I didn't realize it was grieving, that I was shedding it. And, there is important people that I do think that I need to say sorry to. And that I remember my dad in his dying days. He said, Angela, there's something I need to say to you. I did the best I could at the time, but I wish I'd known better. And he said, I know better now. And he said, I want you to remember that for the rest of your life. I wish I would have taught you forgiveness more. I raised you so tough so you could survive, but I have regret, and I can do better right now, is that I want to teach you to open your heart and live from a place of forgiveness. And those are, any childhood trauma that I had, I was able to grieve and let go. And because I don't hold it to him, he was just human. He was just human. And so, but we don't attach to it. That's the beautiful part when you're saying it's a grieving process and not to attach to it. I just feel like let it go and that's what so many books right now and so many things are talking about, is letting that go. So when you let it go and you don't bring it in and you release it with love. And now let's go back to business. How did you know that you wanted to become an entrepreneur? Walk us through some of the steps when you decided to take the leap from your job. You had a beautiful pension. You had this storybook life. I'm going to tell you, from the sideline. I was watching over from the east. I was watching over the fence. Literally, in our cowgirl world, there is fences, and I was like, man, I would love to have that life. What made you just leap?
Yeah. I would have had a beautiful pension, but I would have had no passion. So what walked me through? So I was married to a cattle rancher, and we were entrepreneurs. We decided when the cattle went, we decided who they went to, we decided how many we had. So I really learned a lot being in that business and a shareholder at the time. And when I was working at the hospital, my hours were very strict. And I found, having children, that I wanted to have a career that was more flexible. So I learned a lot from being part of the ranching life. And I realized I'm going to take those skills and I'm going to put them into my own business. And I'm going to see if I can create my own hours. And in fact, I worked more hours being an entrepreneur than I did working at the hospital. But what I found is that it lit me up every single day. and I wanted to go to work. I couldn't wait to work. And then I had to like wean back the hours that I was putting in when I started my own business. And I started to see when the money came in, I could take that money and make more product, write another book. I could start investing that money back into my business myself. I made the decisions, I made the call. And it drove me in a way that I was ready to take that ride.
Oh, that so what I love that you said is the passion. And so it doesn't become about money. If if you want to live a quality of life, go find something you love to do and do it. It's a beautiful world. We live in a beautiful country, and it's never been easier to open up a business than right now because the world is our oyster, as with AI and with marketing and with the internet and everything. It was tough back in the olden days. And, I call the difference I call between this is a small business owner and an entrepreneur. And a small business owner is someone that has like a side hustle that's their hobby. So I also was married to a farmer rancher. It was such a beautiful life. Like they live a beautiful life. Every single thing they do gets poured into that business, poured into that lifestyle. And it passes down generations because they love it. They will borrow. Farmers and ranchers, they will borrow. They don't even look at the interest. They don't put a pen to the paper. Some don't put a pen to the paper because they don't care. They'll do whatever it takes to keep that lifestyle going because they love it. And that's passion. That is when you're lit up. If you were to I talked to a very wealthy businessman, and I unfortunately had to sell some farmland, and it was about all financial. And I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried because I never ever wanted to have to sell. I was steward of the land. But I financially had to. And I was talking to this businessman, and he said, I remember the day that I had to sell our father's farm. And I said, thank God he's dead because he turned over in his grave. I said, uh-huh. So I'm going through. And I said, what made you get through it? And then he said, because it didn't make good business and it wasn't my passion. So it was all about numbers and it was all about his passion, right? So I thought, okay, what's my passion? Because this is, unfortunately, this is what I've have for my assets now. What am I going to do? And it wasn't my passion to do that. So, and it wasn't good business for me financially to keep it. So I made a business plan, or I made a business decision that I have to sit with. But that is the difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner. Is business owners, entrepreneurs will make everything about the bottom line because they're in it for money. And you have to decide which one you want to be, because I see people stress themselves out so much when they are saying, I'm going to own my own business. Decide. When you do that one business plan, decide what type of business owner you want to be. Do you want a side hustle and a hobby, and do you want to love what you do? And remind yourself every single day when it's hard, when the finances come down. For farmers and ranchers, mad cow disease, when the borders get shut down, droughts happen, they remind themselves what they love to do. When a natural disaster happens, and I'm dealing with business owners in a community, and they're not doing this from passion, they're doing this from a living, or that they've got shareholders, or they've got big bills or lots of employees, they sit down as entrepreneurs and they make a solid business decision, and there is no failure to close your business. Sometimes you got to pivot and you got to change. So that is the foundation that Velva and I think, are trying to teach you guys today is get clear, sit with yourself and get clear of what it is you want. And you can pivot and you can change. And I want to talk to you a bit about that, Velva, because I have watched you change your business, your brand, your products, and your services many times. And I want to learn the why and the how that you did that, so that the people that are, for me, I'm like, get clear. I've said to you, I don't understand what you're doing. Get a business plan. Like, why do we keep pivoting? Why do we keep doing this? And I want the business owners to understand the Catalyst coaching side behind what you were doing.
So I always think when we talk about pivoting, I think of the Friends show, where they have the coach and they're like, pivot, pivot, pivot. And it makes me laugh because I think as we grow and evolve, we're naturally going to pivot because how we see through our own lens is going to change as we, learn new information, let things go. We're going to have more clarity. And so for me, watching the women shift in doing my self empowerment programs taught me a lot. It was a lot of self reflection. And as I started to see what worked in what I was doing and I kept growing, I started to realize where my niche was. I started to realize what I love to do about my program. What I really love to do is to do the online and the in person. I like the connection of the one on one. And so it was time to pivot. It was time to also realize my value that I was bringing to the table. I've been doing this for 15 years. It's okay to increase your price. It's okay to have that equal exchange for the value. And it's okay to make that pivot, to be the catalyst coach, to increase, to recreate the programs, because I started to see that as the collective, the people around us are really stuck right now in fear and letting go, that I had to create a program that would support them with what is happening around us currently.
Okay, right there. You just said a beautiful thing that I teach all the time. Listen to your customers.
Mhm.
So she was listening to her customers. She was listening to the world, and she said, I could see people were stuck. So I pivoted and created something to get them unstuck. Now I get it, because I was like, what are you doing? Are you just all of a sudden we're this, all of a sudden we're this, all of a sudden this, and you keep going, and it's a beautiful journey to watch. And you're teaching me, Velva, just so you know, you're teaching me. You're just you hold me accountable to my judgment thoughts, because I absolutely love you. I'm one of your biggest fans. But it doesn't mean I like what you do all the time, right? That's the great thing about friendships. I'm like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
And you just helped me understand and learn to not judge. But because you were listening to your customer, and I teach this all the time, because our customers are evolving and our customers are changing. But from a personal side of it, I hope what we're hearing, because the woman in many hats is I've helped so many families in my coaching. I've helped in my friendships and in raising kids and helping moms and dads raise other kids. And sometimes our kids are going to change their mind, and it's not failure. I think it's called evolving and finding a way through communication. And that's what you just taught me. So that's what us as parents or us as friends, if we can invite ourselves to see it from a different lens, that they're not failing and they're not quitting, they're pivoting because they're listening. And I know you want to say something.
I always say there's that saying, it's failure is growing forward. If you don't fail, how do you know? That's where the deepest lessons are: going through divorce, a health crisis, not taking the ranch when this is for you, right? It's those pivotal moments that you grow the most.
Yes, yes. And if we could pay that forward to the next generation, they're not lazy. I'm not lazy. I've told them they're lazy. I've gotten frustrated. I thought it was too easy. I have thought that tough love. Ask my kids. I hope maybe I've got lots of money for them for counseling set aside. It's not failure, kids. Mom is doing the best she could. But I need to make sure that any childhood trauma that I've put into them or that they've experienced, that they see it as an experience and they move on and they don't see it as failure, because I need to let go that anything I've ever done in business is failure. I'm a very, very successful business owner. I have been, and I've made every single mistake possible out there, and I love it. My money in my bank account has gone low to high, low to high. As I get older, I wish it would go like this, but I love the ride. I love the ups and downs of it. And I pay that forward because I've probably made every parenting mistake possible too. And my kids are beautiful. They're doing well. They've been judged. I've had lots of people have comments about my children, and I've had lots of people comment about my life. And I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry that they have to judge, because Yeah, we all would love beautiful, perfect families, and we'd all love beautiful, perfect jobs and relationships and businesses that make money, but it ain't real. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 21 years old. And these are very scary times for me, artificial intelligence. I'm very scared of the manipulation of it and with no rules around it. And I'm going to speak from my heart that if you are using AI and if you are creating AI, please have integrity. Please be kind and know that you're contributing to the world. So it can be very scary what it does to people. I think your services, Velva, are needed more than ever in now because of we're going to get manipulated very bad and we won't know. I had 2 LinkedIn requests as friends and I shared them with an IT specialist and they said it was all AI and they showed me how to see it. They played me to a T. They said I think of people on dating sites right now. I think of youth applying for jobs. I think of people wanting to travel. I think of the poor seniors that don't even know. Like we're constantly with my mom, we're constantly having to show her, don't click on this, like you're being. And so if artificial intelligence is there, if any of you have a chance to listen to, I think his name is Mo Meg. He used to be the CEO for Google, and he just had he's wrote a book called Smart Scary. I can't wait. It's going to release here in December. But what advice can you give us? I want to talk to all generations right now. I hope that my podcast area is going to speak to so many different audiences. So to the youth out there that are scrolling, to the seniors that are just experiencing social media for fun, and for the entrepreneurs out there that are looking to grow their business or buy sponsors ads and stuff, how can you help them and prevent them from going down this scary road?
This is such an important topic. I know I saw that Oprah had done a whole hour on AI, and I watched it. And I've even seen people in my life that I know them very well. And then I see a blog that they've wrote, and I know those are not their words because I know them.
Yeah.
And being an author, if my words come from my heart and they're wrote so that people can feel exactly the frequency that I'm putting out there. And I think this is a very valid point that right now there isn't a whole lot of system set up to regulate. And I feel like that will come in time, as you said. But what I feel is, like, I think of my daughter, and she said to me, she's in university and she wrote an essay and she's an impeccable writer. And the teacher accused her of using AI. And she said, I didn't. So she had to show all of her backup of her research and submitted it. And then the teacher apologized to her. And they're already screaming, in university and colleges and in schools with AI. And being a writer myself, it lights my fire. I can feel this anger boiling up. And, if you don't know somebody, you're going to think they wrote that. But then when you have an everyday conversation, they're not going to have the language that is going to support what has been written. So as a person who's intuitive, for me, I can feel it. When I look at something on social media that someone has wrote, if it's AI, I can feel it. It's instant. In fact, I'll scroll by it because it's just like my intuition is like, this isn't real. Keep scrolling. And I feel like we need to be open. We need to be clear so that we can feel what's right and what's not. This is the discernment of being inside ourselves. This is the value of understanding that you want to be in your heart, not your head.
In your heart, not your head. So listening to that heart. Okay. Yeah, it is scary. Hey, it is so scary what's about to come. And they said the smartest person in the world, and they said the word person, the smartest person in the world will be here in a couple of years, 2029. And they said it's going to be a robot. It's going to be able to, no one will be able to compete its intelligence. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to reproduce. Those AIs are going to reproduce AI and AI and AI, right? It's just going to get more and more. And, what can I do as a human being? What can I do? I use AI every day. So in my business coaching, when you want to have a sales funnel, I'm grabbing that information and I'm putting it in. Recently was working with someone and we were able to get half the workout at half the price because of AI. I'm able to serve business owners. I'm able to serve business communities better because of AI. I've watched people create AI products that are saving animals' lives and are contributing to the world being a better place too, because we can project and pre-see based off of algorithms. And, I could go down the whole road of health, right? But there's the scary side to it too. And a lot of people are going to get taken advantage of here. And I want to bring awareness to it. I want to somehow, and then the way that I think that we can really make a change is individually support the local. I think that that's going to be really nice. I think where government can come in on policy is starting to regulate some of this stuff so that we do not have AI creating our policies for us in government, because then that's going to replace the world. I think it's going to be very important that we still do the surveys, and that, like, just from a democratic side of it, don't make your policies off of AI. Go talk to the humans. Go back to the old school of door knocking, town halls, coffees, listen to the humans, get that face to face, and then create the policies and create the regulatory from there. That's what I'm afraid of. Is there anything though that tips that you could share with us to be intuitive to yourself when you think you are experiencing it, or you are, I don't know, I don't even know how to say this. I just want you to teach us how to be cautious of what's coming.
So it's connection, personal human connection. That's what we're losing, even with so much screen time. We're losing the connection, right? And so it's the feeling, right? How do we feel inside ourselves, right? If it's AI, you can start to ask yourself. I agree with you on the business aspect, absolutely. But in the personal connection, it's feeling your body. How does it feel when you read that? Like, you'll get a feeling inside your heart. It'll expand or it's going to contract. And you're going to start to notice the difference between AI. If it's real, if it's created from a human, that frequency is going to flow through those words into your heart. If it is AI, it's going to feel shallow and artificial. You're going to feel it. You're not going to be drawn to, oh, I'm going to copy and paste and share this message. Just listen to what your first hit is. Your intuition is always that first hit. Follow it.
What a way. Thank you. I love, we're going to close off here on letting everybody really, thank you for teaching that to us at the end here, because everything we've said, we're going to come full circle into pause, be silent, and listen to yourself. We have services like Velva's available that if you are having troubles listening to yourself, that's when I go. That's when I don't know. Sometimes I called you a witch. I was like, oh my God, her healing hands, I don't know how to explain it. But as soon as those hands get on, like are touching my chakras and are moving me, I feel grounded. I can feel your presence before you're even putting a hand on my shoulder or my arm. And I highly recommend, if you're feeling stuck, to go to Reiki in some way and reach out to Velva. She also does the online, because we need to get present. And as the world's coming after us, so to the youth, I want to talk to you, please do not compare yourself online, because you might be comparing yourself to artificial intelligence. If you're feeling low about yourself, about your career, about your money, about what you're seeing out there, it might not even be real, the person that you wish you could be. To the seniors, be cautious. I know that you just want love and connection, but it's a scary world out there that is coming after to get your algorithm. It's not just your money anymore, but they're wanting information from you because they can sell that. So please be very careful of what you're liking, the contact information you're giving out, because we're going to get bombarded right now. They see a mile away. They're paying for it. And to the entrepreneurs, use it wisely. Use it, educate yourself. just going on YouTube, walking on a treadmill, going for a walk. Educate yourself on AI so that you can use it wisely to benefit. So, Velva, I like to always end with I heard it from, I don't know where I read it or something, but it's something that's very passionate to me is we are what we think. Our thoughts are what we become. So my question I always ask my guests at the very end is, what's your dream? So I can help you and all my clients can help you become what your thoughts are if we all think it. What's your dream?
So I have this little wooden message on my in my office here, and it says, I want every girl to know that her voice can change the world. And that's really my dream. I want every woman to understand that she has a symphony that needs to be shared.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. So I will pray that for you. You'll be in my prayers. I wish it as well for you, and I'd love to see you. I have a daughter who's going to have a daughter, and I have sons that are with some beautiful women who are someone's daughter, and I'm someone's daughter. So yeah, every woman out there, let's all work together. Let's all love each other together, and let's all listen to each other. There's a big movement about to happen. And with the big movement that's happening down south, we all need to be strong. I'm not going to get political, and you'd be surprised who I do vote, what I did vote for or would vote for. But I just think our trailblazing women before our time, they did so much work. So women, let's just keep going. Let's just keep those doors open, and let's make sure our voices are heard. So thank you for that. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a community to support a business. Please reach out to Velva. We're going to have her contact information. Velva, can they just find you online? What's your handles? What's your deets?
So my website is www.velvadawn.com. You can find me on Facebook, Velva Dawn, the Catalystic Coach, as well as on Instagram, Velva Dawn Silver, the Catalystic Coach. And thank you so much for having me, Angela. I really appreciate you and our friendship and supporting you and watching you share and step into this space makes my heart happy for you. Thank you.
Thank you. You're a gift to our world. So blessings to you. Thanks for coming on the show, and more to come. I'm gonna hold you to it. Keep walking through that fear because you inspire me. Thank you.